Greetings, everybody. Welcome to the December 9th, 2015 edition of the Midweek Update here on Rasslin with Redbeard. The wrestling media made a big deal of people leaving this week's edition of Monday Night Raw early. Evidently, they've never had to get through Charleston traffic. Happy birthday, Mom. Number 5 story of the week is that Jim Ross is not dead. Despite what you may have seen on his Twitter handle here earlier in the week, he is in fact very much alive and well. This is a story that is a fun little thing. It's got some unfortunate sides to it, though, because now Jim Ross is evidently trying to get his old Twitter handle back because someone hacked his account and put out a message that he had passed away over the past couple days. This is it's one of these things where you can only hope to be as a celebrity, as someone who doesn't get this type of thing done to you. It does happen quite frequently to where these accounts get compromised. You have to say, as a person who knows a bit about IT, that this would be a good argument for strong security and strong case passwords, but some people just don't get that type of thing, and even with that in place, nothing is secure. You just have to know a combination of the username and the password to get into an account like that anyway. So just trying long enough and hard enough will eventually get you where you want to go. But it's good to know that old JR is doing well, that he's still producing that barbecue sauce and blogging like he always does. I have to say, he's one of those individuals who's had a few health issues in the past, but it's good to know he's okay. And also, it'd be good to know who exactly did that little hack job there, because I'm sure he'd be willing to give you at least a case of that Chipotle ketchup of his in order for a reward. That'd be nice. Number 4 story of the week is, could AJ Styles' future be in question? This is a pretty big story that we're following because of the fact that AJ Styles is one of the biggest stars in the world as far as professional wrestling is concerned. Just so happens that he's not on Monday and Thursday nights. Of course, if you follow the indie scene around the world, you know that AJ currently does not have a contract. He's been bouncing back and forth between New Japan and Ring of Honor. He recently has been having a lot of issues with back pain, though. He's been dealing with a sciatic nerve issue in his back, and he thought after a couple of weeks that he was going to be okay. Returned to New Japan Pro Wrestling Tag League, and unfortunately he has been forced to forfeit and to basically remove himself from that tournament because of a continuing issue with his back. As we all know, AJ is a high flyer. He is a workhorse in terms of his ability to get around. I have to say this is a rather discouraging thing because there have been a lot of talk about him potentially being in line for a deal with WWE to become involved with NXT or some part of their promotion. You just hope for the best for him because he's 38 years old. It's a deal where, a lot of guys who are at that age would start to consider, maybe hanging it up just because of the fact that he is involved in the type of style that he is. He's not like a Dusty or a Flair, not taking bumps everywhere and not being one to jump around and whatnot. But even so, we hope for the best for him. We hope that he's going to be able to continue long into the future in terms of not only New Japan, but Ring of Honor as well. He's being promoted for a January 9th date that we're planning on attending up in Charlotte for a Ring of Honor TV taping. But be that as it may, we certainly hope that he's able to heal up and get better. Number 3 story of the week is our reaction to 3 Count Pro Wrestling's Country Santa Clash 3 event. We were able to attend this event this past weekend in Pickens, South Carolina. Very fun show, I have to say. It was a nice setup, good venue, very enjoyable experience all the way around. Pickens is a bit of a drive for us from our base of operations down in the Midlands of South Carolina, but even so, it was a nice event, a good way to cap off our coverage of promotions here in 2015. I think we're going to get another main show in here before the end of the year, but we've got a lot planned for next year in terms of where we want to go. But getting back to the point of this particular segment, 3CPW's got a good setup, got good talent. Ricky Steamboat was involved with the ladder match there. Interesting concept, it being a flag on a pole ladder match type thing, but it was good to see him involved, and I really and truly tell you that he's a veteran, but I think that even with the health issues he's had, Ricky Steamboat could get in the ring and mix things up with the best of the current generation. He's just that much of an athlete in terms of his abilities. I didn't get to stay for the main event, unfortunately. It was a little bit too late in the day. It was 10 o'clock by the time we left the show, but there was one match remaining. It did turn out that Ken Magnum won the 3CPW Heavyweight Championship in a match with Lodi. But other than that, the matches that we did see were a lot of fun. The opener was a little bit of a a little messy, but it looked like Donnie, never seen him compete before, but it looked like he might have damaged or injured his right knee at some point early on in the match, and was very limited in terms of what he could do the rest of the time. So I think that hampered that match a lot. But other than that, don't have anything bad to say about that particular experience, and we certainly wish 3CPW a lot of success in the future. Number 2 story of the week is that Kurt Angle has announced his retirement. This was a story that happened about a week or so ago, just one of these things that we kind of glazed over because there's been a lot going on. But Angle announced his retirement from active competition in pro wrestling. He's apparently going to finish up what he's got left in terms of his agreement with TNA. I think he's got some European dates with them. But after that, apparently he's going to go ahead and hang it up, or so he says. Of course, we all know that in professional wrestling, rarely do you ever really retire, as is the case with Terry Funk, who I think has wrestled his 100th or 200th or some odd 100th retirement match here within the past couple of weeks. I know he was with Jerry Lawler up in Memphis there a few weeks ago, but be that as it may, I don't think anybody really is expecting Angle to stay retired. I know he's got some interests in mixed martial arts and other types of competition, but at the same time, I think if someone were to come calling with the right amount of money, he'd probably say, okay, here we go. That's just the way it is. That's just professional wrestling. He's still young enough to where he could conceivably compete. The thing with him, though, is that he has a realm of injuries that may or may not make him an asset to a given company. I know a lot of people were trying to say that he could potentially be a member of the Royal Rumble this year, or in some way, shape, or form become a returnee to WWE's ranks. I'm not against that, but I just want to stress the fact that these guys have to think about quality of life after their days of competing in the ring are over. And I hope someone is stressing that to Kurt, because with neck injuries of the sort that he's had, one bad move and it could be a situation like Darren Drozdoff or one of these other guys who's been paralyzed or worse. So we'll see what happens with Kurt in his future, but as for now, it looks like he's hanging him up. And the number 1 story of the week is our preview of WWE's TLC pay-per-view. This is a big event, despite what the fans in Charleston may have put over when they left early during the final segment of Raw this past week. But a lot of interesting stuff happening during this pay-per-view. It should be a fun show. Should be one train wreck after another, if you know what I'm talking about, in terms of the various gimmicks that are involved. From the top of the card on down, you've got inclusion of things like tables, ladders, and chairs, of course, as the name implies. You've got a 3-way tag team title match. There'll be a ladder match between New Day, the Lucha Dragons, and I believe, let's see, who's involved with that? The Usos were the third team involved there. And you've got a Divas Championship match between Charlotte and Paige. A scenario where you've evidently got 2 heels going at one another, or at least one heel and one potential heel, or soon-to-be heel in the form of Charlotte. Then you've also got a IC, or Intercontinental Championship match between Kevin Owens and Dean Ambrose. And rounding it out, you've got a, tables elimination match between the Wyatts and the ECW faction that's been regenerated here. That should be a lot of fun, because the fact that you've got 8 guys there in an elimination match who will undoubtedly be, whatting each other in terms of trying to, get over. But you've also got Alberto Del Rio and Jack Swagger in a chairs match for the United States Championship. And I think rounding out the card is going to be the actual TLC match for the WWE Heavyweight Championship, that of course between Sheamus and Roman Reigns. Should be a fun show. Like I say, I don't have a whole lot of real expectations for it. I think they're probably going to keep everything more or less where it is in terms of the title picture going into the show and coming out of it. I don't see any of those really changing hands. Not that you would expect them to, but at this point in the year anyway. But it should still be fun to watch. This is one of those shows where it's kind of expected to have folks come out with a lot of dings and dents and whatnot in terms of their bodies, but it's still one of those shows that they put on every year because the fans like it. You don't get to see this type of thing that frequently anymore, but should be fun to watch. That's what you're really hoping for this time, or at this point in time with WWE's product. Something that doesn't seem like it's beating you over the head and forcing you to watch, which is the case with some of their weekly programming. But at any rate, we're at the point in the show where we like to show off the posters for upcoming events that will be happening this weekend. There are at least 12 events that we're aware of. There's one that we didn't get to include as far as the posters because we only became aware of it here momentarily ago. NWA Atlanta will be running over in Atlanta, oddly enough. But other than that, we've got 12 shows happening in or around the Carolinas that we're aware of. I want to point out one in particular. There's an event this weekend over in Cornelia, Georgia, taking place at the former Anarchy Wrestling, the Church of Wrestling over there. This is being promoted by Why We Wrestle. That's going to be a tongue twister forever for me, but it's a cool name for a promotion. This is the final show that they will be having before the 2016 season kicks off for them, where they'll be having a tournament to declare their first ever heavyweight champion. So check out these posters, and we'll be back to wrap up the program here in a few minutes. There you have it, our look at the events that are happening locally this weekend. As always, if you are a promoter, a wrestler, or in some way involved with a wrestling promotion and you didn't see the poster for your event in that past segment, it's because we didn't know about it. We do try and peruse social media to keep ourselves informed of what's happening in this part of the world, but we do miss things. That said, if you would like to have your poster featured therein, please send us an email or contact us via Facebook or Twitter. There are links to those particular pages in the description of this video. And if you would, just send us your poster and information about your show. We'll be glad to put it out there for you, because that's a big part of what we do here on Rasslin with Redbeard. Also, we appreciate you guys tuning in. We do enjoy hearing feedback from our fans, but if you go ahead and click that like button if you enjoy what you see here, that lets us know that we did a good job with this particular video. And if you really enjoy what we've got on the channel, go ahead and click subscribe. That way you'll be the first to know when we've uploaded new content like match videos, the Rasslin with Redbeard main show, or midweek update programs like this one here. Appreciate you guys tuning in once again. We'll see you down the road.